If you're a videographer and you're not using Google Earth Studio, what are you doing? I only recently just discovered about it and was using it in a project of mine, which I put on Instagram, and everyone seemed to ask me, how did I do it? I had fun with a couple of people saying I put a 3D camera on my drone and exported the camera data, but I thought I'd go ahead and tell you all how to do it because this is apparently the most slept on software out there with no one seemingly using it except for a couple of YouTubers. So I thought I would go ahead, make a tutorial and show you all about it and how to use it. The best part is it's actually free. And the next crazy thing is you can export the camera data from Google Earth Studio into After Effects and do some compositing and animations right in the editing suite. So let me show you the overview. These are some different effects that you can do. You can do a zoom to, just like this. You can orbit around something. You can go point to point. And you can spiral around something. So you're going to have to come to this website and try Earth Studio, sign up, and get access to the beta. This has been out for almost a year. So you're going to need to hit try Earth Studio, sign up, and then in about a day, it took me to be verified, you can go ahead and start a project. So this is what it'll look like when you first pull it up, and we can do a blank project, and we can just call this whatever we like, tutorial. You want it to be on Earth, which is crazy because you can also do the moon and Mars. I like to set this at time code. So let's do 15 seconds, 20 by 1080. Let's just do 30 frame rate as the default. And you have access to all of the world. Obviously, rural towns probably won't have as much data as somewhere like New York. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to Central Park, like I was showing before. And you can just go ahead and start zooming around. You've got all of these camera controls right here, so you can move left and right, forward and back. You can zoom in and out and pan it around, as well as tilting it up. So a lot of things you can do. I'm going to go ahead and get this camera positioned where I want it. We're going to bring this altitude way down and also bring the camera back. So you can either do it using these controls, or you can simply just drag it around and have a bit of fun. And let's get something we like, say this. You can go ahead and set your keyframes, and let's go forward. Let's just do the full 15 seconds, and we can make it look this way, tilt it up a bit, and let's bring it down, as well as bringing it across. So I'm just going to hold shift to move it across quickly. Let's get it to look up a bit more. And as you can see, this yellow means there's been changes that haven't been made. So you click on that, and once it's blue, all the changes have been saved, and we can go ahead and watch our animation. So we're just going left to right and panning upwards. If your screen doesn't look like mine, you can just come to this little window here, and you can make it a 2 viewer. And you can go from like whatever you want to see. Obviously the top is the easiest because you can see the map as well as your camera. The other thing is, just like After Effects or any editor, you can also easy ease the keyframes. So let's ease these out, and we'll ease these in to make the camera move nice and smooth. And if you want to adjust the curvation of that, you can go ahead and just click on it, and you can adjust the Bezier curves right here. The other thing I just discovered as well is, say if we go in halfway, which it'll give you these little markers so you can see. So let's go to halfway. You can also bring the keyframe, let's bring it back, and we can hit the keyframe. And what you can do is you can actually also adjust this arc that it's going to be on. So let's do that. And the arc will be super smooth, coming back. And then it'll come back towards the camera. Bam, just like that. We've got a really nice smooth move. Obviously you can keyframe whatever you like if you want to top down, whatever you need. I've also gone ahead and set my preview quality to high so I can see what I'm doing. Depending on your computer, you might need to drop that down. the safe margins is this right here. See how it gets darker? That just means it's outside the frame. And map style, you can have exploration, which will show some of the names right here. You've got the pond and the pond at Central Park. And if you go to everything, you'll see some street names and some addresses. So depending on what you're after, it'll have some different things. And say, for example, the Plaza Food Hall. Say if you want to do your own text and your own animation, you can go ahead and add a tracking point on that point, and then in After Effects you can add that back in post. So let me go ahead and turn all of that off again. Clean, and we can right click on that and we can go set track point. So what that's going to do is add a tracking point, and if we have a look on the map, we can just double check if that was added in the right spot. So you can add it either way by right clicking on it, which as you can see here, it has added in the correct spot. But you can just right click on here or right click on here, and then you can add a tracking point. Now once that is done, we can come over to render, and what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to come into advanced, and you're going to need to add After Effects.jsx. You want to have texture quality high, and I want the map clean, and depending on what you want, you can pick right there. We want all the frames, and you can move where you want the Google Earth imagery over the top. So let me put that bottom right, because obviously this top right is where we're going to have our text. So let's go ahead and hit start, and it will take a little while because it's rendering out JPEGs. It's going to render out a photo for every frame, so I'll come back when that's done. So guys, it had just finished rendering, and now it's going to get you to download a zip file. So I'm going to go ahead and download this tutorial. Boom. And now once that's downloaded, you can go ahead and unzip it. So inside the zip folder, you've got 3 different files. You've got the camera data for After Effects. You've got your project file for Google Earth Studio, as well as all the footage, which is just a sequence of JPEGs. So we're going to go ahead and jump into After Effects. And first things first, we're going to hit File, Scripts, run the script file, and we'll double click on that tutorial.jsx. So what this does is it'll import our footage as well as our camera and our track data. So you can see here, this null is tracking, and we've also got a text layer. And for some reason, the text layer is insanely large, so we'll just go ahead and scale this down. And hopefully we'll be able to see what's going on a bit better. Let's go down to... let's go to 55, and then I'll be able to change the rotation to fix it up. So flip it over, flip it up, just like this, plus 90, let's go 180, boom, might scale it down a little bit more, and you'll be able to see that we have that tracked to that building. To say if we wanted a custom text, we can go and type this, so cool, and now that's going to be tracked to that building. And we can move it around in 3D space as well, because it's a 3D layer. So we can click this, we can slide it around if we want it over on this building, and even if we want it in front, we can bring it forward, floating above the park. Whoop. So cool. Bring it down a little bit, make it easy to see. And we've got 3D text floating in Google Earth. Now what you can also do is add some color correction, make it look a bit more cinematic. So I'm going to add some widescreen bars. CC Jaws, drag that on. Go to 80%, scale that down, you can make it super cinematic. Also want to add a new adjustment layer, and let's go ahead and just add some quick curves. It's looking a bit cold, some pretty blue. We'll add our curves on, bring a bit more of this contrast. In We'll add photo filter to warm it up. And now we've got this cool 3D animation, which was the easiest thing we've ever done. So I'm sure you guys are having many thoughts running through your head of videos you could have used this on and videos you are going to use this on in the future. So I hope you guys have liked this overview of the most slept on software out there, Google Earth Studio.